Today, I'm talking about one of the biggest productivity killers, email overload. I'm going to share with you 3 strategies you can employ that will improve both your communication impact and your time management, both for you and for your team. Did you know that there are 360 billion emails sent every single day globally? And that despite the growth of other communication platforms like Microsoft Teams, Slack, WhatsApp, it's growing at about 4 to 6% per year. And I have many clients who would say to me they have way more than their fair share of those 360 billion emails. But on average, an office worker receives 121 emails a day. I know, it's insane. What we know is that has an enormous impact on people's time, and it can become really easy to get stuck in the cycle of just being always on email. The result is many people spend way too much time stuck in their inbox trying to get it to zero, trying to keep on top of their work. The biggest issues they face is one, missing important messages or wasting time on unimportant email. And then thirdly, the risk of miscommunication. That means as a manager with your team, you need to be intentional in how you use email. Strategy 1, structure for impact and easy understanding. Email structure needs 5 key facets in order to be effective. It needs a headline that tells the person who receives it what it's about very quickly, so that they know if they see this email from you, well, what will be in here. Too often you will see email headline, project update, business update, and that doesn't tell the person anything about what's in it. So your first job is to make that headline shine and in its importance and in its clarity of what is in this email. For example, Project Alpha actions and decision required. Very clear that you're going to see what the actions are from Project Alpha and a decision is needed. The second facet of a great email is that it has a clear purpose. You think through, why am I sending this? What do I want to happen as a consequence of sending this email? And the clearer you can be, the better. Because sometimes we just start communicating and writing it out, and we're not always clear in our own head what we're saying. And that's when you can see very wordy, not well structured emails. And that means for the person receiving that email, it's difficult to see the wood for the trees. If you have a clear purpose, you then want the rest of the email to be as concise as is possible. And it's great to use sub-headlines and bullet points to help the person read this fast. Most email is read in a scanning manner, so very quickly assessed. And then if people realize there's something important, they go back and look more at the detail. So you have to write your emails in a way that makes it super easy for your person you're communicating with to scan read this. And that's where sub-headlines and bullets really make the difference. Next, you want to have a clear call to action. What do you want to happen as a result of sending this email? If that is specific actions, make it very clear, action steps, and have them listed. Or it could be next steps, what you want to happen next. So that it's very clear what you want the person to do as a consequence of receiving this email. What would that sound like? What would it look like? So think email sandwich. This sandwich is being put down in front of us. The very top layer of bread is hi, whoever their name is. And then maybe a pleasantry. Remember, we're talking with people here. And if you just jump into the action, you miss that tiny opportunity for human connection. I'm not saying write a paragraph here. I'm saying that if you know that that person has just been on holiday, ask about it. Next layer of the sandwich is the purpose. So this is where you would put, this email is to, insert purpose, what it is you want it to do, or the purpose of this email is to, for example, the purpose of this meeting is to update you on the Project Alpha meeting and get your feedback on which color we use for the new brand. Very clear what the email is about. Then you come to the middle of the sandwich, the meat, the salad, the detail. This is the contents, the information that you wish to share that is enough to allow the call to action to happen, but not too much that you tell the person everything and it takes them ages to read. This is where concisely putting that information in using subheadlines and bullet points, so it's very easy to scan read, which brings us to the lower level of our sandwich, the bread at the bottom, and that is the call to action. So be explicit. So it'll either say something like next steps, or it will say action steps, and bullet or number what it is you want to happen. And that can be as simple as, please could you let me have your feedback by Thursday ahead of the project update meeting on Friday. Thank you very much. And then finally, right at the bottom, you want a nice sign off. So friendly and warm, so that's your regards, kind regards, best wishes, whatever your sign off is of choice, and your name. By following those 5 simple strategies and creating your effective email sandwich, you will automatically improve your impact, prevent misunderstanding and miscommunication, and bring clarity to what can often be way too confusing communication. But that alone is not going to streamline your email communication and save you lots of time. The second strategy you have to follow is about avoiding time suckers. It's looking about how and when you manage your email in order that you do it in the most productive way. Let's first look at when. When should you do your email? So I encounter people who have this always on with email. It's on their phone. They'll be doing it during lunch, during meetings, during whenever, thinking they're multitasking. There's a problem with it though. Our brain is not set up to multitask in that way. The brain is not good at switching from one topic to another topic. In fact, it can take up to 20 minutes to re-get onto the thing you were doing before if you have been significantly distracted. A more powerful way of managing your email is to have 2 or 3 scheduled sessions in the day in your diary where you do email, say 20 minutes each. What you'll find then is you are in email mode. You will clear email faster. You will be able to see the important emails from the not so important emails as opposed to just any email. And it will make you more focused and productive. The second way you could manage your email is to use whatever your email provider's way is of using files and folders. I think there are 3 folders that everyone should have in their email. The first is action. So anything you've got to do, you can take it out your inbox and put it in that action file. The benefit of that is you see all your actions together. So you start to see that workload in one folder. The second is anything that you're waiting on. You know, when you send an email and you are waiting for someone to come back to you, put it in a folder, waiting. It keeps those things you're waiting on front of mind so that you can follow up if something doesn't come. And the third is something you may want to read. When you're clearing and doing your email, you may see a valuable report or a high quality newsletter like this one that you know you want to read. But because you're doing your email, it's like not right now. So put them into a read later folder. And the power of this, for example, quite often when I'm on the train, I will pull up my read later folder and I will just work through some of those emails and check out what's in there. And it keeps that content that I perceive to be high value in an easy access location. That means the high quality, high priority emails are already out of the noise of your inbox. I like everybody, I think, has tried to get to inbox zero. And I've never managed inbox zero very well. I have moments of that lovely feeling of, oh my goodness, there's nothing here. But on the whole, there's always emails in my inbox. And you need to find a way of managing that, because you need to get rid of the noise that's there and remove it. So the folders is one very effective way of doing it. Another way is, instead of continually maintaining an inbox zero, what I have is small admin moments, normally on a Friday afternoon, where I have a bit of a cleanup. Or sometimes when I'm on a train, I have a bit of a cleanup, and I just delete or archive emails that are not valuable to me. So I think there are different ways of doing it. There are many videos on YouTube about inbox zero that you could follow up on, but as a minimum, consider having a little bit of admin time where you just clear things out, so that on the whole, your inbox is manageable. One more approach that is very valuable is recognizing when a conversation is needed and that email is not your best way of communicating. And I think there are two priority moments in this to get right. The first is in an email chain where you suddenly realize you're entering email tennis and it's just going backwards and forwards. What you're better doing then is just saying, shall we hop on a call and discuss this? Because when issues are more complex, you will just cut through it so much faster with a conversation rather than trying to continue that by email. Even if you don't know the person so well, it doesn't matter. It's an opportunity to connect with someone. You'll understand what their concern is or what they're thinking about faster, and you'll be able to clarify any situation much more successfully verbally rather than in email. The second, as a manager, is if you suddenly realize you are sending many emails to the same person, bombarding them with tasks and things to do. A conversation is more powerful. Then you can just summarize one email of all the points rather than lots and lots of emails, all from you, all on different topics. If that's happening, I just find that it's much quicker to cut through with a conversation rather than typing away merrily, because it just takes that person a long time to get through that, and it's much less effective. These are all approaches you can use to optimize your email, but they're also actions that your team can take. The third strategy is thinking about how you as a team optimize and streamline your email. This involves agreeing some ways of working. Now, this isn't about micromanagement of you telling your team how they should run their email. It is you and your team talking together to understand how email is being used, what's going well, but what are the problems and what could you do to rectify that so that everybody saves time. A good starting point for this may be sharing this video and then having it as a topic at a team meeting where you can get feedback, work out what your blockages are, and as a consequence, come up with an action plan that would help all of you work better. What you may also want to do is think about other communication methods that might help you. So projects or workflow work incredibly well between a Teams or Slack and a project management tool integration, so MS Planner or Asana, where you put topic related communication so that you're not doing that switching. Everything on this project or workflow is in here, including the files and the reports and the status, and people can update it in real time. It's a very effective and collaborative way of working and transparent way of working, and way more effective than trying to do that through email. Also thinking about, what about urgent messages within your team? What is your designated urgent mode? Is it WhatsApp? Is it a phone call? But at least everybody knows, so that if something significant happens, everybody isn't using a different tool to reach out in different ways. And if you do receive then, for example, an urgent WhatsApp, you know that it's urgent and to be taken seriously. The key here is that you have the conversation, you work out what you need to do, you establish an action plan, and then as a team, you have to commit to it. Now, I would say it would take about 12 weeks to nurture a new way of working so that it moves from a we're trying this out and getting used to it, to a much more habitual way of working. And your role as a manager is to nurture that change. Make sure you're getting feedback, encouraging people, giving positive feedback when you see it being done well, because that's saying, do more of that, everybody. This is really good. You're doing it well. So make sure that you recognize that role if you're setting up this way of working. And as I said, a quarter, you could be in a very different place as a team with much less communication and email overload as a consequence. So well worth putting the time in and facilitating that discussion with your team. If you have any questions on any of this, please put them in the comments below. If you found this useful, please share it with a colleague, but also like, subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified of each and every video that I release. I would also be very grateful because it helps other managers like you find my channel. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.